like every sport, bro, like basketball, football, baseball. I didn't make a single team, like nothing.
Mhm.
And so like I just honestly kind of created who I am, dude. I just have this dog mentality. Like I'm used to losing. Like I don't losing is obviously not the like what we want to do, but
Mhm.
losing is when you learn about yourself, right? So like I just realized like damn, like if I really want to get to this next level, I gotta put in that work. So like it really just made me into this hard ass worker who doesn't take no for an answer. Cause like eventually I did play Division 1 basketball. I did get a scholarship. I did play in the NCAA tournament. So like I
Mhm.
really went from the fucking bottom to make it to like that's like a high, like most people want to make it to D1, play in the tournament. Like I played Kentucky. Remember the year they had the platoon squad where they had like Willie Cauley Stein,
Oh, yep.
the twins. We played them in the second round.
Wow.
So like we even won a game in the tournament. So like it was, bro. I had a great college basketball experience.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast, your source for living a healthier lifestyle and developing a better mind, body, and soul. Through guidance, tips, and stories of highly successful fitness gurus, athletes, and individuals who are passionate about enhancing all aspects of life, we provide you with the tools to help you take your lifestyle to another level. And now your host, Quinn Mitchell.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. This is your host, Quinn Mitchell, and today I have a very special guest. Phill Reed is a former Division 1 basketball player, is now a personal trainer, and he currently has his own company called Jack's Only Fitness. How you doing today?
I'm good, bro. Thanks for having me on. I'm super stoked to be on here and talking to you and just getting it going.
Yes, sir. So for people not familiar with you, would you mind giving a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Phill Reed. Like Quinn said, I played Division 1 basketball. I actually gave up my scholarship my senior year. I decided to pursue modeling, and I've competed in bodybuilding and mixed martial arts as well.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where Jack's only came from. Jack's of all trade. I feel like I do literally everything. There's nothing I can't do. I feel like.
Yes, sir. So for people not familiar with you, I know I did a little research on you, and I know for your basketball journey, you didn't make the 7th and ninth grade team, was it? Or 7th through ninth
Yep.
grade, you didn't make the team.
Yep. So I got cut my seventh grade year, my eighth grade year, my ninth grade year. I got cut as well. And then the varsity's women's coach came up to me, was like, "Hey man, like you have potential. You work really hard. Just like come practice with the varsity girls."
Mhm.
So my freshman year, I actually played with the varsity girls practice squad, and
Wow.
so I just got my experiences practicing with the girls. I just kept grinding, kept my head down. Then my sophomore year, I played both JV and varsity, and then
Mhm.
my junior and senior year, I played varsity.
Got you. Now, just going through that journey, like how tough was it mentally on you? Because I know for me not be, I mean, well, my journey specifically, I didn't even make the team my 6th grade year, and to be
Okay.
honest, with you, I didn't even want to play basketball no more. To be honest with you, but how did that mentally affect you?
Man, it was tough because like I had moved from California. I lived in California. I was born there.
Mhm.
So I played on like the third and fourth grade team. Like they literally, when I left the school, they retired my jersey. Like I was nice, bro. I was a super hooper. Like I was cold, bro.
Yeah.
And so I get to North Carolina. I'm like, I'm getting cut, I'm getting cut. I'm like, damn, like every sport, bro. Like basketball, football, baseball. I didn't make a single team, like nothing.
Mhm.
And so like I just honestly kind of created who I am, dude. I just have this dog mentality. Like I'm used to losing. Like I don't losing is obviously not the like what we want to do, but
Mhm.
losing is when you learn about yourself, right? So like I just realized like damn, like if I really want to get to this next level, I gotta put in that work. So like it really just made me into this hard ass worker who doesn't take no for an answer. Cause like eventually I did play Division 1 basketball. I did get a scholarship. I did play in the NCAA tournament. So like I
Mhm.
really went from the fucking bottom to make it to like that's like a high, like most people want to make it to D1, play in the tournament. Like I played Kentucky. Remember the year they had the platoon squad where they had like Willie Cauley Stein,
Oh, yep.
the twins. We played them in the second round.
Wow.
So like we even won a game in the tournament. So like it was, bro. I had a great college basketball experience.
Now, speaking on that, so how was that lifestyle journey for you? Because I know just being D1, I know it could be a lot of distractions because some of my friends, former hoopers, they went D1, and I
Right,
know it was just a lot of things for them to handle. So could you just talk
right.
about that Division 1 lifestyle, how you balance it out personally?
hmm for me personally, it was kind of easy. Like I said, I never really made a team before, so like being to make it to that level, it was like an honor to me. Like I didn't want to fuck it up,
Mm-hmm.
so like I just took it super serious. Like I feel like a lot of athletes, they hear student athlete, but they just focus on the athlete part. So like for me, I focused both on being a student and an athlete, and I became more of a leader on the team. Like not necessarily, like, obviously I played a role,
Mm-hmm.
but like I was a contributing member, like off the court and on the court, and like just knowing that like basketball isn't everything. So I didn't make a team. So like, what if I don't, you know what I mean? Like if I don't go pro, I didn't. So like, I got to figure out what's next for myself. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I was just always just like, I won't say mature, but I was always just like looking for like people to put like be under their wing. I just was always trying to learn. And so like, there was a lot of distractions. Like there's like obviously girls, there's parties, you're just free. Like you're not at home anymore. And I went to a Division 1 basketball school. You heard of Hampton University?
Oh yeah, I actually did hear of him.
So
Yep.
it's HBCU, and they call it like it's like bougie. They call it a bougie school, and like
Hmm.
it's amazing. There's beautiful women. There's beautiful like we're on the
Yeah.
beach. Like it's amazing ass opportunity, and
Mhm.
like I just focused, bro. Like it's all it was. It's just focusing on what my goal was and why I was there.
Now going to HBCU, I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see any major benefits from going to one than going from a regular university?
Yeah, so I transferred after my sophomore year. Personally, I don't really like. Obviously, HBCUs are great, but I like diversity because I don't like just being around like all of one thing. But
Mhm.
what I did learn a lot about is like I'm from the suburbs, so I did learn a lot about my culture. I learned a lot about like just history. Like the Emancipation Oak is there, and that's where Abraham Lincoln like
Mhm.
freed all the slaves. Like there's just a lot of history there that I learned. Like dang, like this
Gotcha.
is really cool. It made me proud to be like African American. You know what I mean?
No, definitely, definitely. So I
Yeah.
know you mentioned that you gave up your Division I scholarship the last year. So how tough was that for you? And how did you basically make that decision and stay okay? I'm rocking with that decision because I know it could probably been a lot of pressure on you, well, from
Hmm.
outside forces saying no,
For
no, you
sure.
should do this. So how did you do it?
So I originally tried to quit right after the season.
Mm.
My dad was like, "No, you're not doing it. Like that's stupid." And then I booked a Nike commercial, and I was the lead for it. And so I was
Mm.
like, "Bro, like no, I'm done. Like, like this is my first commercial. I'm the lead of a Nike commercial.
Yeah.
Like Nike said they want to use me for the next 4 years. Like, I was like, at this point, like it's either like my senior year is either now or never. Like this is the last year I could do whatever I want, like whatever Phil wants to do,
Mhm.
without the pressure of like, oh, what are you doing for your job, or like what are you doing for this? Like
Mhm.
I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want to do my senior year,
Yeah.
and like just go all in. And so that's what I did. I decided to go all in, and honestly, it catapulted me so far into my career of like modeling and such that I was able to. It's my career now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So
Yeah, thank
speaking
you.
on the fitness trainer side, so what actually inspired you to be a fitness trainer?
Mm, that's a good question. So for me, it was more or less like I was always told I was too small, I was too
Mm.
weak, I wasn't tough enough, and so I never necessarily wanted to be a trainer per se. It just kind of happened. Like I went through the journey myself of like, okay, I'm too small, I'm gonna do bodybuilding. I'm too
Mm.
soft, I'm do MMA. And so like once I went through that transformation, I was like, man, if I could do it, anybody could do it. So like I kind of wanted to give back to those people who wanted to get to that next level of like, oh, I can't lose that weight. Oh, I can't gain that weight. Like, no, you can, but you really had to just dig in, commit, and like just believe in yourself and just do it. So like I want to be that person who like is that stepping stone to get you to that next level. So that's kind of what I've like incorporated in my trainings. Like I just want to help people get to that next level.
Hmm. So were there any major obstacles that you first found out when you first started?
I would say so. Like I'm 6'10",
Hmm.
and I'm technically the world's tallest bodybuilder. There's nobody my height doing what I'm doing,
Hmm.
and so like being the first person to do what you're doing, there's obviously gonna be a lot of doubts. There's gonna be a lot of people who are naysayers, and like at first, like when I was playing basketball, I wasn't really big on social media. Like I didn't really like post a lot and stuff. But that's when I was like, all right, I got to post every single day. Da, da, da. I had like 5,000 followers, and people
Hmm.
were like, oh, like you're just trying to be this, that, this and that, this and that. But like once I started gaining followers, once I started booking commercials, once I started booking photo shoots, everybody was like, oh, like that's what Phil's trying to do. Like people started understanding. At first, they didn't understand, but now they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's something I want to ask you too, because even having your own business and me being an entrepreneur myself, it's like people from the outside world, when let's say they go on your page and you're constantly posting, like
Hmm.
sometimes I often get it like, oh, you're cocky, you just self-centered, but
Right.
people really don't understand what you're trying to build. Like
Right.
when you're your own company, your own brand, nobody
Right.
else is really going to promote you at that point.
No, not at all. And like for me, like I think I'm probably one of the least cocky people. Like I don't like I just do it because I'm trying to influence people. I'm trying to give people information. I'm trying to give people the information I wish I got when I was younger. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So like I'm just trying to help other people out. So if you take that as cocky, I think that's an insecurity from you, like
Yeah,
yourself. You know what I mean?
no, definitely. So what would you say is one of the biggest obstacles that you see with some of your clients, let's say?
Hmm. I think it is truly believing in themselves that they could commit to this and like take themselves to the next level. Um, I have a lot of weight loss clients. I think the one struggle is a lot of people think gaining weight is overnight, and they don't like everybody's like, oh, but I don't want to get too big. But like in order to gain weight, you're gonna have to like put on body fat. Like it's isn't like you're not gonna get fat, but like you're not gonna be shredded. Like you just have to take that L for 6 months or however long it takes to add that base of mass, and then you cut it down later. So you got to just have that baseline, then you just make a sculpture later. Like it's just understanding that like it's not an overnight journey. Like you're not gonna feel great all the time. You're not gonna look amazing all the time. It's a journey. It's a long term thing, not just a short term fix.
Definitely. So one of the things I want to ask you too, because a lot of people that listen to this podcast, they're trying to either women trying to lose weight or gain weight.
Mhm.
So
Right.
one of the questions I often ask people that actually professionals in this is, what do you really consider is like the biggest thing to help them? Because there's a lot of things out there like the diet
Right.
pills, the
For
waist
sure.
trainers. So how do you really feel about all those things, and what tips could you give them?
So I don't believe in any of that stuff. Like, obviously, it's a quick fix. Like, it will help you lose that initial weight.
Mhm.
But for me, how I should make my program is it's more of a lifestyle. Like, I follow the If It Fits Your Macros. If you haven't heard of that, it's essentially like, let's say you have 100 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 50 grams of fat. Like, you're allowed to have McDonald's every single day as long as it fits into those macros, because you're going to see the weight loss, right? I don't suggest doing that. I prefer you to have quality foods, but it gives you that option of like, okay, 90% of the time I'm going to eat clean, but 10% of the time I can eat whatever I want, or it just gives you like the flexibility of doing what you want. Like, the reason I don't believe in doing like the carb list, like no carbs or like
Mhm.
diet pills or waist trainers, is because once you stop doing that, you're gonna get all that weight back. So like, you know what I mean? It's like, you might as well create a lifestyle that's sustainable. So I believe in sustainable training, not necessarily like extreme weight loss.
Got you. So just to make it clear, you don't think the waist trainers, because I don't get me wrong, bro. I see it
Right.
on Snapchat all the time. Every girls
Right.
always got the waist trainers. So
Yeah.
you don't think those
100%.
personally work yourself?
I mean, they for sure work, but like, it's a short fix. Like, like, for me, fitness is a lifestyle. Like, it's not this 3 month, like, oh, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds, and then what happens when you start eating carbs again? What happens when you stop going to the gym and using your waist trainer? You're just gonna
Mhm.
get back to where you were. But if you make it a lifestyle, like, oh, if it's a lifestyle, it's not gonna never change. This is who you are as a person. You know what I mean?
Got you. So what tips would you suggest for men starting to work out? Because I know me playing college basketball, my biggest thing was like, as soon as the season started, bro, I'll be 175. As soon as
Right.
I go right down to 160.
No,
So
100%.
what are some tips that you could give men to help sustain weight, let's say?
Yeah. I mean, if you play sports, like, I've always been taught, like, you're obviously you're going to go into the season super, super strong,
Mhm,
but it's specific. Like, you're specifically focusing on basketball at that point,
mhm,
so you're going to lose like weight like gradually. But
mhm,
as long as you keep up like your protein intake, you're continually eating like healthy foods, you're still working out. You may lose like 2 or 3 pounds. You may not, and it may not be drastic,
mhm,
but like, if you're in sport in season, your focus should be being in that sport in that season, not necessarily your weight.
mhm.
But you obviously don't want to lose like, I don't like, I would say, just don't go into season and just cut working that out. Like, you should still hit the weights, you still eat right, right? Like, that doesn't just disappear. That's still a maintenance thing. So I say in season you should go into maintenance mode
Mhm.
and try to maintain where you're at, not necessarily try to gain or lose. Just try to keep what you've been doing.
Got you. So now, how do you personally feel about like the creatine out there, and like I know the different whey protein. So how do you feel about
Right.
those things? Do you think those things work or?
100%. I utilize creatine, glutamine, and whey protein every day.
Got you.
Um, but like, with creatine, you're supposed to cycle it out. So I do about 4 weeks on, 1 week off.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's all, they're just all tools. Like, but if you're just using all that creatine, protein, and glutamine, and you're not working out, you're not eating right, it's purposeless. Like, if everything else is on point, like, those are supplements, right? The supplements mean to add on. So your base should be amazing, and supplements will add, is just little add additions to your workouts, your diet, whatever you're doing.
So that's I'm glad you brought that up, because that was going to be my next question. So how important really is the diet when it comes to either gaining and losing weight? Because me personally, I've had clients and they've always told me like they've had trainers tell them that they should just cut out carbs for totally,
Hmm.
or they should starve themselves. So how do you
Right.
really feel about those types of, or let me reword that. What types of diets do you think actually work? Or do you
Mhm.
just recommend people eating whatever they want as long as it's within their calorie?
So I mean, like, the zero carbs and stuff, it's gonna work. Like, you're gonna lose that weight. But what I always say is, like, what happens after you finish that plan and you add carbs back in? It's just, you're gonna gain that weight back, right? So it's like, if you can find out something that's sustainable, you could keep over time. Like, why not that? Like, why would you not want something that you could keep for 20 years
Mhm.
rather than having something that's gonna, you'll look great for what, 2 months and you go back to normal? Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's counterproductive, right? Like,
Mhm.
if you're gonna lose that weight, you might as well lose it, keep it off forever.
So do you
So like,
think those vegan diets work? And you know what I'm trying to say, like the vegan and no meat. So how do you feel about those?
I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. Like,
Mhm.
they work as long as you're able to get that your like adequate protein. Personally, I like meat. I like steak.
Yeah.
I enjoy meat. But like, if that works for you, go for it. Like, it's not. I don't have any ill about that per se. As long as you're able to get your adequate proteins, vitamins, your minerals, your macros. You know what I mean?
Got you. So so when it comes to working out and with your clients and everything, how do you keep them motivated to go to the gym? Because I know sometimes people have their lives and it's when they have kids and everything. So I
Right.
know you personally have programs designed for people that don't have to go to the gym. So
Right.
did you incorporate that to help keep them motivated to keep working out?
Honestly, no. That happened because of COVID and
Oh,
people lost access to gym. But how do I keep people motivated? Honestly, like I'm a type of trainer. I don't do anything in person. Everything for me is online.
God.
But you can expect a text from me 3 times a week, like, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on?" Like, da, da, da. Like I'm your best friend. Like we're in this together. So like I have my clients send me screenshots of their macros every night. Like, "Oh, this is what you ate today. Okay, perfect. Let's add this. Let's take this away." Or you know what I mean? Like, how can we adjust to get your macros on point? Or, "Damn, you did a great job today. You're on point with your macros." Like just to have that accountability partner, that's someone who who's like, if you fuck up, I'm not gonna berate you. I'm not gonna add cardio. I'm not gonna say you can't do this. Like I'm just gonna like, all right, like you messed up. We're human. We got tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just I want to be that person who's like I give you confidence. I'm just your best friend in this journey. Like we're partners in this journey together.
So and that's one thing I like about you because there's also fitness trainers out there where they have clients, but they never hear from them. There's no communication, so they're
Right.
literally just in this alone. So they really don't have no
100%.
guidance to look to.
And that's one thing I really took away from, like, that's why like made my program this way is like I know there's a lot of trainers who just give you the program, they take your money, and that's the last time you hear from them. So like I want this to be like I want to build a relationship. I used to do in-person training about 3 years ago, but I just switched to online. It's just easier 'cause I like to travel. I do stuff.
Mhm.
But I do enjoy the connection of making new friends through this. Like my best friend currently is because I helped her lose 20 pounds and get ready for the season. Like that's how we became best friends. So like my clients are my friends. Like I don't look at them at I don't even look at them as clients. Or my friends to me.
So now, how do you personally balance out your personal life and just because I know you have a lot of clients and trying to run a whole business? So how do you
Mhm.
personally balance out everything?
That's a good question. I don't. Like my life is I'm all into this. I luckily have a girlfriend who's a life
Mhm.
coach, so she's doing the same thing as I am, but it's just more of a mental aspect.
Got you.
So I got lucky to have someone who just truly understands what I'm doing. We're both trying to build together.
Mhm.
And like to me, I love what I do. So like this is what I think about all the time. I'm always thinking about new programs, always thinking about new different workouts. I'm thinking like that's all I think about.
Mhm.
And so like it's just my lifestyle is just who I am. I just love helping people grow and develop into the best version of themselves.
Got you. So another question I want to ask you as well is how important is the mental aspect as well as along with the physical aspect? Because I know when you're training and everything, a lot of things has to do with how you feel about yourself. So
Right.
how do you basically incorporate that into your training?
Yeah, definitely. So to me, the mental is more important than the actual physical. There's this saying that like where your mind goes, the body follows.
Mm-hmm.
And with my confident, like with my clients, I try to teach them to be confident themselves right at that very moment, like right from the start when we start together. Like be confident because you're not only are you trying to like you should be confident because you want to take this journey. Like don't be confident when you have your dream body. No, be confident now. Like you're working your way there. Embrace the journey. Love the journey. So like that, like I just quotes or reading, like journaling, like all that stuff is important. It's you have to your mental is everything.
I definitely
Yeah.
understand. And I know with especially when it comes, I know you have a lot of women clients. Um, when it comes to them, because I know when it comes to losing weight as well, they always step on the scale. Well, I know the
Right.
clients I had
Hmm.
before they came to me, they used to step on the scale every day, and
Right. 100%.
when they never see progress, they would get discouraged. So,
Hmm.
what would you say to people that's constantly checking the scale? Do you think that's because I know that really affects their mental when they're not seeing anything coming off
100%.
if they're working out all the time. So what do you say to them?
So I actually, I had a client yesterday. We had a check-in yesterday. I've been working with her for about 2 weeks.
Mhm,
The first week she lost 5 pounds. The second week she lost 2 pounds.
mhm,
And I was asking like, okay, so how do you feel? Da, 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 da. And she was like, well, I'm kind of scared that I'm gonna fall into this trap of like weight loss, like da da da. But prior to saying that, she was like, I'm able to fit into my leggings for the first time in a while, but I still have this pair of jeans that like are still kind of like tight. I was
mhm,
like, all right. I was like, scratch the scale. I was like, throw away your scale. I was like, take a picture in those jeans that are too tight. We're gonna base this entire program off when your jeans fit. I guess that's what matters. If the jeans fit, why does it matter what the scale says? As long as you feel comfortable in what you're wearing,
mhm.
right? Because you're not walking around with a weight with a scale in your hand. You're walking around in your jeans.
Yeah.
So I'd rather you feel comfortable in what you're wearing, and that. So it's like the scale doesn't matter, dude. It matters about how you feel about yourself, and it matters about how yeah, it's about what you feel and how you feel. Like if your energy's up, do you feel healthier? Do you feel more energetic? Do you feel less bloated? Do you feel like you're digesting food? Like that's what's more important to me than weight loss.
Nah, I definitely understand. And one of the last questions I want to ask you before I let you go, because I appreciate you coming on the show as well,
Of
is
course.
do you think basketball or even playing sports has taught you like some lessons that you still apply to your life today? Because I know with me, after my college career was done, I still had that same ambition and drive, but then I had to pursue that into
Mm-hmm.
something else. So that's when I started writing a book, and then I started doing other
Okay.
different aspects of life. So do you think playing sports or just playing basketball specifically has taught you
Mm-hmm.
many lessons?
Oh, for sure. Like, honestly, obviously, when I was in the sixth, seventh, eighth grade, ninth grade year when I was getting cut, I hated it. It was terrible. But like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me because like it taught me personally. I, the cream rises to the top, right? Like, I still made it to Division One, even though I didn't make those teams. Like, a lot of my teammates, I was the only person. So I transferred to a private school my senior year,
Mm-hmm.
but the public school I went to, I was the only person that went Division One. I was the only person to have a scholarship. So it's like, and they were all the ones that played ninth grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade. You know what I mean? Like, they were all the stars, but like, I'm the one that went on to play Division One basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the cream rises to the top. If you really like pursue what you're trying to pursue, it's going to happen. It may not happen when you want it to. It may happen in 20 years, it may happen in 5 years, but like, as long as you're consistently pursuing that goal or whatever you're trying to do, it's bound to happen as long as you put your head down and work.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you coming on the show. For people that's wondering how they can get in contact with you, would you mind giving them your information?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. It's Phill.Reed, with it's Phill with two L's. I also have TikTok. It's my girlfriend and I. It's Brooke and Phill with two L's. Yeah, that's where you could find me.
And I'll definitely have you shoot me over those links, and I'll include those in the description on the below in the podcast. But I appreciate you
Perfect.
coming on the show, Phil, and just chopping it
Yeah,
up.
bro. And I have a few questions for you too now.
Yes, sir.
So like, what inspired you to start this podcast?
So basically, like I said, when I came home from playing basketball, like I was in a like real rough state because I had injured my groin my senior year.
Oh,
So
dang.
but from going from my junior to senior year was like a totally different. Because I
Right.
was killing junior year, then I transferred, hurt my groin. So I came
Okay.
home and it was like I had to put my time into something. So
Right.
when I started, because I had a mentor, he said,
Mhm.
start the podcast. So now I started the podcast. And then now with it, I started doing research on the people because I just don't like interviewing anybody
Right.
that's in the health field specifically because I know there's a lot of bullshit out there. I know there's a lot
For
of people
sure.
who don't know what they're talking about, but they have a title. They have a great title, but their
Right.
clients, they're not getting any results. So that's why I
For
like to
sure.
bring on people that know what they're talking about and they're very informative with the situation like yourself. And like I
Thank you.
done my research and it was like, man, you play college basketball. That's something me and you could relate to. We're both in the health.
100%.
It was like, that's what made me start it.
That's dope. How did you become a trainer? Was it what inspired you to become a trainer?
So basically, like I said, I've always been in shape my whole life. So
Mhm.
then once I found out I was in shape, like after college, it was like, okay, how can I impact other people's lives? Because I literally took, like, it's crazy because I literally took some of the lessons that I learned from just playing basketball, knowing how to eat and knowing how to
Right.
divvy up my time. And then I literally took
Mhm.
that and then I had in college, people used to ask me like for workout programs. So I would just write them up something light. But then when
Right.
I've actually seen them working, I was like, okay, this could actually be something one day. So then when I came home and it was Corona hit, it was like I
Mhm.
had all this time on my hands. So it was literally just
Right.
allow opportunity for me to just help others. And then once I start helping others, it's like that's my biggest thing. Like once I see somebody's life improve for me,
Right.
it's always something that I take pride in.
Right. So would you say that's what motivates you to continue pushing forward is helping others?
Yeah, bro, because it's like I said, I see a lot of people out there that's in the fitness industry.
Mhm.
But they're just in it for the money. They're not in it for the people. So it's like
Right.
when I see that bothers me to a point where, because like I said, anybody can say any information, and like people that's looking for information, they're
Mhm.
gullible to it if it looks good, but it's not
Right.
actually good for them. So my biggest thing is actually helping people and getting them to feel good about themselves and bring them to another level where they're actually comfortable in their own skin. Because I mean, most of my clients I've ever had was women, and a lot of
Right.
them they're uncomfortable because they're either in college. You know, when you're in college, you go through that drinking stage, and then when you're out of college, it's
Right.
like now I want to get on top of my body. So now what
For
can I
sure.
do? So when I started helping them and
100%.
help them try to transform their life and make it better for them, it was like to
Mhm.
me, I don't even. It was to a point where I didn't even start charging people. I started off just doing it for free because I wanted to help. But then once I
Right.
started getting results, it was like, okay, I'll charge a little bit there. But I was never in it
Right.
for the money for me because I just wanted to always help people and help them
Heck
feel
yeah.
good about themselves.
That's so dope, man.
Yeah, man. And also,
Yeah,
I want
dude.
to ask you as well about your modeling agency because I know you're a model too. So how was that process
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, so that's kind of funny. That's kind of my modeling agency is kind of what gave me that confidence to take that to quit basketball, right?
Wow.
So it was my junior year, and I went to the LA Fitness Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Christian Guzman?
No, I never heard of him.
So he's like a big time fitness
Mm-hmm.
influencer. Have you heard of Alphalete?
Nope. Is that
Okay,
down
it's
the
like
west
it's like
coast?
no, they're based in Texas,
Okay.
but it's like it's you know Gymshark, right?
Yeah. Gymshark, yeah.
It's like a Gymshark, right? So I went to the expo. I was trying to meet him,
Mm-hmm.
and my roommate at the time, his name is Cam Beverly. He's you know who Kelly Oubre is?
Yep.
He's Kelly Oubre's personal videographer now, but
Wow.
he was my roommate at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to become a photographer. I was like, well, fuck that. I'll take photos with you. So every day after practice, we just go just do photo shoots every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I went to the LA Fitness Expo, and there was a booth, Naturally Fit, my agency. They had a booth there.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely empty. I was like, all right, like I'm just gonna go see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I met my agent. She's like, do you have photos, whatever, da da da. And I was like, yeah. So I showed her, and she's like, oh my gosh, like you're great on like photos. And I played college basketball, so it just makes sense for like a fitness model.
Mm-hmm.
So I signed with them in after season because I couldn't sign with them in season.
Mm-hmm.
And so I booked my first commercial was a Nike commercial, and I did a Clippers commercial. I've been on this year I've been on an Apple billboard. I've done a lot of modeling stuff with them, and they honestly they've propelled my career so fast. It just made my life a little bit easier. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. We might have to talk a little bit about that off camera because I was looking to do some myself, but it was out here. It's more of like the mileage. It's kind of weird, bro. It's kind of weird. It's like
where are you based out of?
But so I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut, yeah.
Yeah, so they had like one modeling agency, and they wanted me to go take this course, and we'll talk more off camera, but it was just like to me it was like real fishy about the situation. You know what I mean? So
well, we can talk about it on camera real fast.
Yeah.
So because I actually worked with my agency. I was an agent before I moved out here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would suggest to people who want to become models, because I know a lot of people do get into that scam. They get scammed into that shit, right?
Yeah.
If the agency is trying to get you to pay them up front, it's a scam. I've never paid my agent out of pocket. I have taken courses though. I've taken acting classes. I've taken classes to I've taken audition classes. Like because it just takes you to the next level. Like we're both athletic, right? Let's use you. Like say me, there's me and Joe Blow. We both look the same. We're both 6'10". We're both light skinned. We both have the same haircut. But I have acting experience. I've gone to acting classes. I've gone to audition classes. So like he knows how to play basketball. Say he went to Kentucky, I went to Hampton, right? So he's high level. Like he's high level basketball player. But I know how to talk to it. I know how to talk on camera. I know how to work the angles. I know all the small shit that matters about acting. So like acting or modeling and acting and actually just playing hoop is two completely different things. Like I booked the Nike commercial because what I did is I had to block a shot. But like everybody else was just go blocking the shot. Bro, I went and blocked it, and I fucking yelled. Like they love that shit. Like it's a movie. Like acting or modeling is a movie or a show. Like you got to make it a show. I booked my the Apple like the billboard. So we had to we had to pretend we were dunking. And, like the guy was on the ladder, right? And we had to pretend we were dunking on that ladder. Same thing. I fucking throw it down. Yeah. And like, oh, like they love that shit, bro. Like you just gotta act. Like you gotta take it to the next level. You gotta you just have to make them see they just see what they need to see, like not even seeing it. You know what I mean? So it's just you just have to truly pursue it. And just like Connecticut, I have one friend who's from Connecticut who tried to model, and I know it's just not a big like LA is if you want to model, LA is where you want to be. LA, New York, Tokyo.
Yeah.
But like it's not impossible. Like I'm at a point now where I could fly back and like I'm flying back in a week and I'll be there for a month, like shooting. So it's like, you just have to really just put yourself out there and just really try and just make connections and just talk to people and just be a nice, genuine person. Cause like, that's another thing is just being a genuine person. A lot of models are just assholes or over cocky or they think they're the shit, but like, no, like we're all human. Like the casting directors are human. The people, like I treat a janitor and a CEO the same. They're the same to me, as the same person. They're human, right? Like even today, there was this homeless guy like talking to people. I said something back to him. He's like, "Oh man, someone finally acknowledged me." Like just acknowledging people and just like talking, being a nice person, like that doesn't take you so far.
Yes, sir. Yes, I definitely agree with you sharing that information with the listeners because, like I said, a lot of people that listen to this podcast are either former athletes or they're women trying to lose weight or women trying to be models. Let's say,
right.
and like I say, here in Connecticut, it's like the model agency. It's not really big, but there, like I say, you get trapped into a lot of situations where you're paying money up front. But I'm glad you shared that information because, like I said, I'm a victim to that myself. like going to my agency. I had to put money up front, and then he wanted me to take the classes, and each week I got to put down like $500. So it was just a whole big. So I just stopped going.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and it's such a sad thing because like so many people get caught into that scam and that they think it's just sad, dude. Like I hate when people get caught in that because like it gives models in the industry a terrible name. And like it's an awesome industry to be in if you're in it for the right reason with around the right people. Like my agency, like I love everybody. My agent's my mom. I call her, like I could call her right now, she'll answer. And like to a lot of people, their agents or a lot of agents, their clients or their models are just a number to them. But like it shouldn't be that way. Like you should have a genuine relationship with your agent.
Nah, definitely. So like I said, I definitely appreciate you coming on the show and giving that information as well, my man.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, sir. So for people, like I said, I'm gonna keep all the information that you're gonna send me. I have it in the description below if people want to get in contact with you. And I appreciate you popping it up with me.
Yeah, of course, bro. And just shoot me the link and I'll share it on my page and everything else.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe or to leave us a review on iTunes or the listening platform of your choice. Also, please check us out at QuinnMitchellII.com, as well as find us on Instagram for more useful content and resources.